Namaste. I welcome all my beloved 8th standard students and all the viewers for today's Samveda e-learning program science class. Students, I welcome you all for the second session of chapter 2 microorganisms, friends and foe. All of you be ready with your textbook and notebook to note down the important points, students. Last class we discussed microorganisms, introduction about the microorganisms. Also we discussed microscope and contribution of scientists in the field of microbiology, and also we studied 5 major groups of microorganisms. Also we studied where these microorganisms are present in our nature. We also discussed microorganisms and us. In today's class we are going to discuss friendly microorganisms. We are going to discuss about the uses of microorganisms. Let us see what are the important concepts we are going to learn in this particular session. Friendly microorganisms. Microorganisms are useful to us in many ways. We are using microorganisms in preparation of curd, bread, bakery items. Also we are going to use microorganisms in commercial products preparation, especially beverages, enzymes, vitamins, etc. Also we are going to use these microorganisms in preparation of medicines, antibiotics, tablets, even vaccines. Also we are going to study the role of microorganisms in soil fertility and cleaning the environment. Students, can you list the milk products used in our daily life? Yes, you are correct. Curd, which is commonly used in our day-to-day life. Buttermilk, yes. Butter, you are correct. Ghee, cheese, paneer. These are the milk products which we commonly use in our day-to-day life. Milk and milk products we are using from ancient period of time. There was a saying, curd and honey is the food of God, because this milk and milk products is very nutritious. It contains all types of nutrients in it. First, let us discuss the role of microorganisms in curd preparation. Students, you would have seen your mother used to put 1 or 2 spoons full of curd into the remaining milk in the night time. What is the reason for this? Next day if you observe the milk is completely gets converted into curd. Curd preparation also, these microorganisms play very important role. Students, can you name the microorganism which converts milk into curd? Yes, you are correct. Lactobacillus bacteria are mainly responsible for the conversion of milk into curd. In milk, lactose is present. This lactobacillus or lactic acid bacteria convert the lactose into lactic acid and responsible for the curd formation. Not only that, this curd is also used in preparation of rava idli, baturas. Now let us study the role of microbes in bakery item preparation, especially bread, cake. They are so delicious. We are all fond of eating those products, and these food products also prepared by microorganisms. Students, which microorganism is used in bakery items preparation? Can you name that? Yes, you are correct. Saccharomyces cerevisiae, it is a yeast. It is used in bakery items preparation. Students, let us observe a small activity now. Take half kg of flour, atta or maida, add some sugar and mix with warm water. Add a small amount of yeast powder and knead to make a soft dough. What do you observe after 2 hours? Students, this activity you can perform in your home also, in your school also. Try with this activity. Let us see what happens after 2 hours. Observe this. Maida with the yeast powder in the beginning, and next picture you can see after 2 hours the duff is raised in its volume. What is the reason for this? Yes, you are correct. Yeast reproduces rapidly, and during respiration it produces carbon dioxide gas. This carbon dioxide gas bubbles fills the duff and responsible for the increase in the volume of the duff. So, microorganisms play a very important role in preparation of bread, bakery items also. And not only that, in our home, idli dosa batter fermentation also, these microorganisms play a very important role. Now, one question for you students, what is the reason for size of the duff increased after 2 hours? Yes, your answer is correct students. Yeast reproduces rapidly and produces carbon dioxide during respiration. Bubbles of the gas fill the duff and increase its volume. Now, let us discuss commercial uses of microorganisms. Microorganisms are also used in large scale production of alcohol and fermented beverages such as beer, wine, whiskey, brandy, etc. Apart from that, it is also used in preparation of vinegar. Students, here you can see the picture of small activity. For this activity, requirement is minimum. You need sugar, you need a yeast, a small amount of yeast, empty bottle, 1 or 2 balloons and a lukewarm water. First, take an empty bottle, put 1 or 2 spoonful of sugar, fill 1/3 of the bottle with the water, dissolve the sugar. Now, add a small pinch of baker's yeast and to the neck of the bottle tie the balloon and observe after 1 or 2 hours. You can observe the size of the balloon increased. What is the reason for this? Yes, you are correct. Microorganisms convert sugar into alcohol along with the production of carbon dioxide gas. And to confirm the gas which is produced carbon dioxide, you just remove the balloon and leave the gas in a test tube which contain lime water. Immediately the lime water turns milky because the balloon contains carbon dioxide gas which causes precipitation and that results in calcium carbonate. Milky white precipitation is observed. So, by this we can confirm the gas which is released during fermentation is carbon dioxide. Can you define what you mean by fermentation? Yes, you are correct. The process of conversion of sugar into alcohol is known as fermentation. It is an anaerobic process in which carbon dioxide gas is produced. Students, do you know who discovered this fermentation process first time? Yes, Louis Pasteur, who is known as father of microbiology. This scientist first coined the term microbiology, and for his innumerable contributions in the field, he is also known as father of microbiology. Louis Pasteur, he is from France country. He is microbiologist as well as chemist, and he has conducted several experiments, and his period is considered as golden age of microbiology. Let us see the contribution of this scientist in the field of microbiology. This scientist proposed germ theory of disease. He established that putrefaction and fermentation was the result of microbial activity, and he solved the problem of French wine merchants who were facing souring of wine. And also he disproved theory of spontaneous generation by his experiment called Swan neck flask experiment in 1860 to 61. He described the method of pasteurization of milk and wine to increase the shelf life. He developed vaccines for anthrax and rabies. And he also developed sterilization techniques. For all these contributions, he was considered as father of microbiology. Students, observe this picture. In this picture, mother is telling her son, mask, sanitizer, social distance, even soap, everything you use it in school, don't forget it. But son is telling, mask, sanitizer, why we need? Only cow dung is enough, no? He is just making fun. But of course, cow dung is also having antimicrobial property. Now let us study the medicinal use of microorganisms. Microorganisms are used in the production of antibiotics. Students, from the bacteria which is present in the soil, more than 300 antibiotics were discovered. Some of the common antibiotics which are made from fungi and bacteria are streptomycin, tetracycline, erythromycin. Microorganisms are also used in the preparation of antibiotics. What are antibiotics? Yes, you are correct. Antibiotics are chemical substances produced by microorganisms which kill or inhibit growth of other microorganisms. So, these are called as antibiotics. Now, let us study the types of antibiotics and example. Antibiotics are mainly classified into three types: antibacterial antibiotics, especially penicillium, cephalosporins, streptomycin; antifungal antibiotics, griseofulvin, nystatin, candicidin are example for this; antiviral antibiotics, acyclovir, azidothymidine, amantadine are example for antiviral antibiotics. Students, antibiotics are also can be classified based on their action into two types: narrow spectrum antibiotics and broad spectrum antibiotics. Narrow spectrum antibiotics are able to kill only few groups of microorganisms, whereas broad spectrum antibiotics are very effective against large group of microorganisms. And even there are very few antibiotics are available against viruses, because viruses completely depend on the host for their replication. Students, here you can see the picture of Alexander Fleming. Can you tell me who is he? Yes, you are right. He was father of antibiotics. In 1928, Fleming discovered penicillin, the first form of antibiotics. Alexander Fleming, working on the pure culture of pathogenic organism, and when he went for vacation, he found the Petri plate in which he has pure cultured Staphylococcus aureus got contaminated with some fungal colony, and this fungus he identified as penicillium. He extracted penicillin from that fungus. This penicillin was very useful during Second World War time. It saves the life of many soldiers. Next, let us see the uses of antibiotics. Antibiotics are used to cure a variety of diseases in human beings. Not only that, antibiotics are even mixed with the feed of livestock and poultry to check microbial infection in animals. They are also used to control many plant diseases also. Students, one question for you: what precautions must be taken while taking antibiotics? Students, can you tell me what are the precautions we must take while taking antibiotics? Yes, you are correct. It is very important to remember that antibiotics should be taken only on the advice of qualified doctor. Second thing, must complete the course prescribed by the doctor. And third very important thing, we should not take antibiotics when not needed or in wrong doses. So, these are the important precautions we must take while taking antibiotics. Students, one question for you. Antibiotics should not be taken when not needed or in the wrong doses. What is the reason? Why? Can you answer this? Yes, you are correct. It may make the drug less effective when you might need it in the future. Also, antibiotics taken unnecessarily may kill the beneficial bacteria in the body. So, these are the main two reasons why we should not consume antibiotics when we does not require it. What is this? Yes, this is a vaccination program. Why children, infants given vaccination? Yes, you are right. Vaccines prevent infection of microorganisms. Vaccines help us to develop immunity. Vaccines help us to produce antibodies. Students, vaccines are very much necessary to protect our children from infectious diseases from microorganisms. And nowadays, for corona viruses also, vaccination program started in our country for the protection against coronavirus. Students, how are vaccines prepared? Yes, you are right. Vaccines are prepared from weakened or killed forms of microbes. Example for vaccines, polio vaccine and DPT vaccine. Polio vaccine and DPT vaccine. DPT vaccine is very effective against 3 contagious diseases: diphtheria, pertussis and tetanus. Students, can you answer this question? How vaccines work? Yes, you are right. If a dead or weakened microbes are introduced into a healthy body, the body fights and kills the invading bacteria by producing suitable antibodies. The antibodies remain in the body and we are protected from the disease causing microbes forever. This is how a vaccine works. Students, in TV channels, newspaper, you would have seen government advertisement regarding the pulse polio program. Below 5 years children are given the drops of pulse polio to protect them against polio virus. In this picture you can see pulse polio program to save the child. Students, in this picture you can see one more scientist. His name is Edward Jenner. This scientist discovered vaccine for smallpox in the year 1798 and he is known as father of vaccination. And now the smallpox disease completely eradicated from the world. Now let us discuss role of microbes in increasing soil fertility. In this picture you can see rhizobium, a symbiotic nitrogen fixing bacteria which is very useful in fixing the atmospheric nitrogen in leguminous plants. In the second picture, non-symbiotic nitrogen fixing bacteria, nostoc, even anabina, which are found in the fresh water. These organisms also play a very important role in fixing the atmospheric nitrogen and increasing the soil fertility. Students, can you answer this question? What are biological nitrogen fixers? Yes, you are correct. Some bacteria are able to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere to enrich soil with nitrogen and increase its fertility. These microbes are commonly called biological nitrogen fixers. Now let us discuss role of microbes in cleaning the environment. Yes, microorganisms decompose dead organic waste of plants and animals and converting them into simple non-toxic substances and also increases the fertility of the soil. Microorganisms can be used to degrade the harmful and smelly substances and thereby clean up the environment. Students, these microorganisms play a very important role even in cleaning the environment. Microorganisms also play a very important role in preparation of compost. in your home, in your schools, you are going to separate dry waste and wet waste, and wet waste we are using for the compost or manure preparation. And in manure preparation or compost preparation, these microorganisms play a very important role. You can see here the manure which is prepared with the help of microorganisms. This manure increases the fertility of the soil and also increases the crop yield. Students, imagine if there were no microbes in our environment. In case the microbes were not present in our environment, it leads to soil pollution, air pollution, even water pollution because of these waste materials. Even it may cause several diseases also, even bad smell produced in the environment. Students, till now we discussed about different uses of microorganisms. Now, are you ready to answer few MCQ questions? Okay. First question, who discovered the vaccine for smallpox? Options are Louis Pasteur, Antony van Leeuwenhoek, Edward Jenner, Alexander Fleming. Yes, your answer is correct. Edward Jenner discovered the vaccine for smallpox. Second question, the first antibiotic penicillin was produced by which group of microorganism? Options are bacteria, fungi, algae, protozoa. You are right, student. Answer B is correct, fungus. Fungi are responsible for production of penicillin. Penicillin was extracted from Penicillium fungus. Next question, the main product of the fermentation reaction? Yes, options are vitamin, carbohydrate, alcohol, protein. Your answer is correct, student, alcohol. Who is known as the father of microbiology? Options are Louis Pasteur, Antony van Leeuwenhoek, Edward Jenner, Alexander Fleming. Yes, you are correct. Louis Pasteur is known as the father of microbiology. Students, now I am going to give you few questions for home assignment. Note down these questions and answer these questions. First question, list the uses of microorganisms. Second question, antibiotics are not effective against common cold. Why? Third question, DPT is a vaccine for which diseases? Fourth question, what causes duff to rise when using yeast in making of bread bun? Students, note down this question and answer these questions. Okay. One more activity I am going to give you. During your childhood, you were given many vaccines to protect yourself against various ailments. Make a list of these diseases and vaccines. Students, do this activity also. So, in this session, we discussed friendly microorganisms, benefits of microorganisms in commercial uses, even in preparation of bread, bakery items, and also in preparation of antibiotics, vaccines. Even we studied their role in soil fertility and cleaning up of the environment. In the next session, we are going to discuss about harmful microorganisms and also food preservation techniques and nitrogen cycle. Till then, namaste students.